So Danielle, tell me about the geysers and tell me about enhanced geothermal systems. You know, right here what we're looking at is a sort of a broad general explanation of an EGS, right?
Right. So just to back up a little bit, I'll talk about this exhibit. The Calpine Geothermal Visitor Center was recently upgraded in partnership with the Department of Energy in collaboration with Lawrence Berkeley National Labs. And our first goal was to add EGS, Enhanced Geothermal Systems, to this display, and also to make it more interactive. So what you're looking at here is a video that our entire Geysers team, after 10 years or so of doing Geysers tours, decided we would get together. Baker Hughes sponsored it, and we made this video to just give a simple explanation of what EGS is.
Right. Beautiful.
So, the graphics are amazing on it.
Is that map sort of shows, the red spots sort of show where the hot spots are?
And if you, over on that map over there, that gives us a really good overview of where the potential is.
And the idea is that the red, all that red, there somewhere in there are water pockets or steam pockets, but all of that is hot rocks that if we could do the EGS process and go down to those rocks and then pump water in a completely closed cycle, right?
Right.
And we could actually create electricity.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If you wanted to move over here to the EGS at the geysers, so we've been injecting wastewater at the geysers for quite a while. There was one area where we had these plugged and abandoned wells that in the 80s they just closed them and left them. And because we now have the wastewater from the Santa Rosa Geysers Recharge Project, the Department of Energy and Calpine decided to try this EGS project. We have the infrastructure, we have the team in place, all the geologists and everything to open those wells, use that water, and see if we can create an EGS system. And that's the EGS system we have at the geysers. And out of that project, Department of Energy and Calpine thought that upgrading these exhibits to expand information to the local community, which is really important because there's been a lot of coverage on EGS. There's a lot of information out there that needs to get out to the public, and so that's why we developed these exhibits.
What kind of information does the public
need? The public really wants to know, when you're contemplating a project, you have to let the community know what's coming into their backyard, what is, they hear things, they read media stories, things like that. They don't really understand, and seismicity is a really huge concern, and that is a byproduct of EGS that comes with it. So
that's kind of what this display is about.
And
right?
That's exactly right. So that's how we kind of made up the flow of the exhibits. And so this here shows at the geysers. It shows the geysers. It's called the known geothermal resource area. And you have the power plants, and all of these are seismic stations, highly monitored area. This information comes from USGS. And they also collaborated a bit on this display.
What happens when you click that button that says click here to start?
So if you start this, you are able to check what kind of, so the green dots indicate magnitude. So right now we have it on the 1 to 2 magnitude. And if you go to the ones, you can see them all. And then if you show all events within the last day, this is the cluster that you see. So in addition to this, Calpine...
So all those little green dots are actual seismic activity?
The green ones, the blue ones, yeah, and then there's a big yellow one right there. And if we looked here, you would see one big yellow one in the last day. So Calpine maintains a seismic hotline where we distribute the number to the community, and people in Cobb and Anderson Springs call the hotline when they feel a seismic event. It helps our geophysicist, Craig Hartline, and the reservoir team in managing the resource. And I checked the hotline this morning and we had no calls. So all of these, and that's not to say the community didn't feel it, but no one reported feeling it.
So nobody was complaining about what you were doing.
Yeah. Normally we get, the bigger the event, we will hear from the community.
Now, what would be the ultimate, is it that you show that seismic activity either can be controlled in some small way or is not consequential enough to prevent the development of this EGS system? Is that what it would be, or?
I think it's more of just sharing the information and having people understand the what is going on, what's causing it, and that we all work together on making sure that the events are as least of a nuisance as possible to community people, and nuisance meaning a bother to them.
And there are technologies, I think you were saying something earlier about technologies or methods of injecting the water, because it's injecting the water that causes.
Right.
And there are methods of injecting the water that limit or the amount of seismic activity?
Exactly. And what they do is they just move it further away from the communities, and we have what we call a SMAC meeting. It's a seismic action monitoring committee. Get together twice a year and report on it. And the community, that's their main focus. They want to know we felt these events. What are you going to do? And so we have an opportunity to interact with them, report. Our technical team comes down and they talk about moving the water away. So, for example, Cobb and Anderson Springs, it's not shown on here. These are the two communities impacted the most. Here's our EGS project.
Way away from
Way away, exactly. And they supported this project because they understood the technology, the potential benefits. The community is really supportive of promoting technology and local jobs. Their issue is that is this safe for our community, and how.
So this map here, this red outlined area, then we move over to this, and this three-dimensional thing is the same red outlined area, right?
Right. And if you looked at it from the top, that's how it would look looking down, if you could see.
And so then when you turn it the other way,
this just gives you an opportunity to see how deep they are.
Right.
And how frequent.
And can you, okay, that does show it, okay.
Yeah. And so, for example.
So the yellow are the bigger events.
Yeah. So
the 2 to 3 on the Richter scale.
So
events.
in the last day, for example, because I mentioned I checked the seismic hotline this morning, and so in the last day there was, and let's see where it was in the field. We can turn it like this. Thing won't stop moving. So we can't really see so much as the rotating sphere is doing that. But I guess if you can see the red line from there we go. Maybe it's still rotating.
And the ultimate dream, I think I've reported that it may be, some of the stuff I've written at Green Tech Media, it may be 20 years away, but ultimately what we'd like to do is to be able to take all this red and at places that are safe, far away from communities, etc., and use this technology to drill down into the hot rocks, inject water, maybe wastewater, and create geothermal electricity using what we know is deep earth heat. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Great.
Exactly. But the drilling side of it, that is a very costly thing. And so you have a geothermal resource such as the Geysers, where we have 2 permits for 2 power plants right now, and we're not able to develop right at this time. It's in this area of the hill where the EGS project is. The Wild Horse Power, our proposed Wild Horse Power Plant would be partially fed, steam would be fed from the EGS project. But unfortunately, we're just having challenges. So you can see here's the EGS project right here. So Wild Horse would be in this area. And you can see there aren't any other, the little closest power plant's Little Evelyn over there. And
but ultimately, we are the United States and the world are both going to need the electricity that can be generated from this deep heat, and so that's what that's what EGS is about developing.
Right.
Right now, it's too expensive to do it.
I know the Department of Energy's investing in EGS technology. They've done it at the Geysers. We're just looking to take it to the next step by building that new power plant. But right now, we just need to find a power purchase agreement for that.
Right, right. Okay. I think